it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, August 24th. So we will have the moon in Scorpio go void, of course, at 1:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We shift into Sagittarius energy at 4:08 a.m. And then we have our first quarter moon in Sag at 5:57 a.m. So we're definitely shifting gears here today. Now, coming out of the last couple of days with the moon in Scorpio, very intense, very, very dark, very heavy, very weighted, very, very transformative. And anytime that we're shifting out of the Scorpio energy into Sag energy, the Sag energy proves to be the light at the end of the very dark tunnel that it seems to be when the moon is in Scorpio energy. Now, the fact that we are kind of exiting the Scorpio energy, entering into the Sag energy, and then hitting that first quarter, you best believe that this is going to definitely put some pep in our step. This is going to bring back some optimism. This is going to bring back our willingness to kind of boss up to a new chapter, a new purpose, a new mission, a new adventure. We're renewing our faith. We're renewing our trust, not only within ourselves, but in the greater, grander plan. And because the first quarter moon is always a time of action, a time of pressure, a time of intensity to take an action, this means we're going to gain the pep in our step, and a lot of our, I'm going to say, mood and attitude moving forward comes from the tension and the conflict that we've been stewing in. So yeah, it can be a time of pressure, it can be a time of stress, it can be a time of tension and conflict, but out of that, we kind of gain a new perspective. We gain a new motivation, a new inspiration, and we're ready to push ourselves forward in a way that we haven't been thus far. We're kind of aligning with a new competitive nature. We're setting new ambitious goals for ourselves. And although we might not know where we're going specifically, we know what we're moving away from, and we're using the heaviness, the conflict, the tension of the past couple of days to really push us into this new direction. So we got a lot going on here today, not to mention we're still trying to acclimatize to Virgo season. We just entered into Virgo season here yesterday morning. Go ahead, listen to that astro forecast if you haven't already. Download your Virgo season e-guide if you haven't done so already as well. And of course, Mercury just went retrograde. So there is a kind of little bit of a wonkiness to the day. We're kind of scatterbrained, but in Sag energy, we're scattered with our energy and our attention anyways. So should prove to be a very interesting day. Now, there are 9 different aspects here today. 8 of them are going to involve the moon, and the one that doesn't involve the moon involves Mars and Pluto. We'll talk about that here in a second, but just understand how powerful that particular energy shift will be, and that is going to take place towards the end of the day. But first, we have the moon still in Scorpio energy, sextiling, beautiful interaction with Mars, and then with Pluto. Why is this a big deal? Well, because Mars and Pluto rule over the Scorpio energy. So anytime we're interacting with the ruler of the energy that the moon is currently in, there is a shift, there is an activation, there is a trigger point for movement, for change, for transformation. The moon interacting with Mars, the god of war who rules over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger, who is also completing these final degrees in Virgo energy as we're anticipating the shift into Libran energy here on the 22nd. This is a sextile. This is a positive interaction. So what this means is that we're kind of getting some pep in our step. We're bossing up. We are fueling ourselves up, firing ourselves up. We're making a dramatic pivotal emotional change in our inner realm. We're changing perspectives, and therefore we're engaging the physical body to kind of change directions, change focus, change our orientation altogether in order to address some of the issues and concerns that, of course, Mars being in the Virgo energy has been illuminating for us. So this is a positive pick-me-up. This is inspiring. It's motivating. Again, keep in mind that with the Scorpio energy, we turn that darkness into light. We turn that pain into power. And so any forward movement that we are kind of building in our mental plane, in our emotional realm, or in our physical realm right now is coming out of the tension, the conflict, the struggle. The moon sextiling with Pluto its primary ruler. Pluto is the great transformer himself. He's retrograde in this Capricorn energy. And so this sextile is a major shift in our inner realm. This is a major transformation in our emotions, in our perspective, in our understanding, in our motivation, in our inspiration, in our determination to actually push ourselves forward, to boss ourselves up, to rise to the challenge, if you will. And this is a both beautiful interactions to really kind of bring the moon in Scorpio's time to a close. Now, after the moon sextiles with Pluto here, and we have this major shift and change and transformation in our attitude, in our emotions, in our perspective, in our direction, this is when the moon goes void, of course. And as I previously mentioned, we sit in that void until 4:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we continue to sit in this new moon in Sag until 5:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the moon in Sag squaring off, getting into the boxing ring with the sun, who just entered into Virgo energy. So this square, this is what happens with the first quarter and the last quarter of the lunar phase. We enter into a square that creates tension, that creates conflict. Now keep in mind, the moon in Sag is trying to kind of pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, really renew our optimism, our confidence, our self-esteem, our ability to trust the process. Now, getting into the boxing ring, squaring it off with the sun in Virgo, let's talk about the difference between Sag energy and Virgo energy for a moment, shall we? Sag energy focuses in on the big picture, the big goal, the end result. We think anything is possible. We overcommit. We bite off way more than we can chew because we're all hyped up on this fire energy. We really, really, truly believe that we can accomplish anything that we set our mind to. The Virgo energy focuses in on the smaller details. We don't want to see the big picture. The big picture doesn't matter. What we want to do in the Virgo energy is analyze the smaller puzzle pieces that need to click together, that need to be put in order to reveal the bigger, greater, grander picture that the Sag energy is more concerned about. So this conflict, this tension is because we're all revved up. And the moon, our emotional space in the Sag energy, is hyping us up, talking us into big things, really putting us outside of our comfort zones. We're eager to rise to the challenge. We're eager to try new things. We're opening up to new adventures, new paths, new directions, new missions. But the sun over here, fresh in this Virgo energy, is like, you know what? You're going to need to pump the brakes, okay? The sun rules over our life force energy, more over how we express the energies that's going on inside our inner realm. So you best believe that the sun, now in Virgo energy, we are grounded, we are rooted, we are not taking one freaking step forward in a new direction until we think it to death, until we analyze, we strategize, we piece together what needs to be done in order for us to build the right foundation and structure in our here and now in order to actually align us with the big picture vision that the moon in Sag is very excited to get to, that we're not getting to anytime soon because the sun in Virgo needs to work very slowly on building the proper system, the proper process, the proper way to actually get from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. So we can understand how this is going to create some conflict and tension. But keep in mind that it's the conflict and the tension that is inspiring us, motivating us, and keeping us hell-bent, damn well and determined to keep pushing through whatever obstacles we are challenged with because we refuse to go back. Now that's an interesting dynamic, saying that we have all of these planets in a retrograde. We have no choice but to look back, but to reflect back, but to breathe new life into the old. So here we are kind of in a gridlock, if you will, because there's a part of us, especially the egoic part of us, that wants to push forward, wants to take action, wants to make moves, wants to initiate something new. While all of these retrograde planets are like, no, the only way you're going to be able to move forward is if you confront the issues, the topics, the themes of the past, provide it some endings, provide it with some closures, provide it with a completion point. We have to clean up the debris of our past before we have a clean slate to go ahead and start building towards our future. So this is a whole vibe. Is it going to feel good? Probably not, but it is going to light the fire under our ass and in our heart space that we need to continue to push ourselves forward. The moon is going to interact with the North Node in Aries energy. This is a positive interaction, so this is good because, of course, the North Node in Aries energy is pushing for us to kind of get on the right path, to get into the right direction, to really, really kind of start piecing together where it is that we're going to break free from our old situations, our old circumstances, our old, I'm going to say, attachments with caring too much about other people and other people's thoughts and opinions, especially on what it is that we need to do to honor ourselves, pursuing the path of happiness where new passions and desires are illuminating for us where it is that we have a desire to break free. So obviously this is a fire on fire action. We have the moon in Sag, we have the North Node in Aries. Fire likes to burn away the old, burn down the old, burn through the cords, the attachments of the old, in order to clean the slate for us to start fresh and initiate something new. So yes, there is motivation. Yes, there's inspiration. Yes, we may want to move forward. Yes, we may have ideas on how it is that we need to do that. However, the forward motion of actually taking physical action remains to be seen. We're doing a lot of this in our inner realm. The moon is going to interact with Mercury, who is just freshly retrograde. Now, this is a positive interaction, so this means that to a certain extent, we're getting our emotions and we're getting our mental plane on the same page. Now, granted, we might not stay on the same page for very long, but for a very small window of time here midday, we are really hyping ourselves up. We're understanding, if you will, what it is that we have to clean up in order for us to move forward. So considering the fact that Mercury is now retrograde, we're reflecting back on how it is that we've gotten here. We're looking back on what is still a mess, what is still crazy, what is still chaotic, what needs to be brought to an end, to a closure, to a completion point. And therefore, again, we have the moon, our emotions really hyped up and excited about all the possibilities of the future. And Mercury's like, you know what? I want to support that dream, but I need you to get on board to be this bold, brave, courageous energy to tackle some of the aspects that we've already created that are going to block us, trip us up from trying to move forward. So this is why we get an alignment between our heart and our head, and we're starting to analyze the steps that we need to take as far as cleaning up the past goes. So it's very much, I'll give you this analogy because it seems to work well. You know, when you decide that, like today is the day that I got to clean my house, and you start to clean, but in the process of cleaning, you actually make more of a mess before you actually start seeing things get cleaned up. This is the kind of energy that we're in. It's like, okay, we got a clean house. We have to put things in order. Let's start here. And then, squirrel-like ADHD type of brain takes you into a different area of the home. Suddenly you're, in order for you to put the, clean towels away, you have to clean out the cabinet that has a bunch of crap in it in order for the towels to have a spot in. So then you take all the crap out, you put it on the counter, and now you're like, oh, good, I put the towels away, but what am I going to do with all this crap? Now you're starting to sort through what is on the counter. What can I save? What is old? What is expired? What can serve me in the future? What is serving me no more? Now you're sorting through the items on the counter. You're throwing some things away, and now you have a smaller group of things that you want to keep. Where are you going to put these things? Well, let's open another drawer. I would love to put these things in this drawer, but here's a bunch of crap that is preventing me from even opening the drawer. Okay, so let's empty the drawer out. Right? Now we're sorting through that in order for us to put this very small group of items that we've already identified are going to serve us moving forward. Now we have a spot for that, but again, we've made another mess. Now there's a bunch of crap on the counter coming from this particular drawer space that we need to sort through in order to make everything work, in order for us to put everything in its place. So just think of this Virgo season and this Mercury retrograde throughout the whole entire Virgo season as the process of cleaning your house, but making a mess in the process in order for everything to be put back in order, in its spot, in a place where we're able to easily access it and use it for practical, logical applications. That's where we're at. So the moon in Sag energy is going to go ahead and square off, get into the boxing ring, create a little bit of a tension and a conflict with Saturn. Saturn, of course, the Lord of Karma, ruling over roles, responsibilities, systems, foundations, and structures. He's retrograde in Pisces energy, trying to bring a 30-year chapter to a close, especially where our healing work has been concerned, where our pain and trauma is concerned, where our belief system is concerned, where our spiritual practice is concerned, where it is that we just need to address our fears, our doubts, our insecurities, where we have to address the shadow realm elements of our experiences, because this is the emotional baggage that continues to weigh us down, preventing the kind of progress that we want to make moving forward. So a square is no joke. It doesn't feel good, especially when Saturn's concerned, because he is the Lord of Karma. He likes to give us a little bitch slap of reality every now and then, bring us back down to earth. And this is why we're having a tension with this particular aspect right now, because the moon in Sag is so hyped up on, I'm going to say, optimistic delusion that we literally can accomplish anything that we set out to accomplish. And Saturn's like, okay, first of all, you need to bring yourself down a couple of pegs. And second of all, take a good look at how it is that you speak to yourself, how it is that you're operating, what it is that you tell yourself, because the current belief system that you have is limiting you from being able to actually achieve the goals that you're setting for yourself. So this is like, we're in the boxing ring and Saturn is just like, well, listen, you are not going to be able to accomplish what it is that you're set out to accomplishing right now, because you don't have the structure of belief put into place. You don't have encouraging, supporting narratives put into place. And so we really are getting kind of like the 1, 2, 3 punch here, because Saturn intentionally wants to knock the wind of this Sag energy to bring us back down to earth, so that we stop biting off more than we can chew and setting ourselves up for disappointment. So although it seems a little bit harsh, it is absolutely necessary in order for us to kind of get a little bit more logical, practical, and realistic. We are in Virgo season. You know, the hopes, the wishes, the dreams, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, the ifs, ands, and buts, that don't fly in Virgo season. Virgo season needs logical, practical information, data, statistics in order to make an informed decision. And right now, we are aligning ourselves with a vision and a dream that we don't have the belief, the support, the encouraging narrative or structure put in our lives to actually reach this goal. So Saturn is bringing us down a couple of pegs, and it is not going to feel very nice. The moon in Sag is then going to interact with Chiron, the wounded healer, who is retrograde in this Aries energy. Now, this is an interaction, not necessarily a good one, not necessarily a bad one, just one that piques our curiosity. And the curiosity should really be kind of stemming around the wounds, the pain, the trauma, the identity crisis, the ability for us to see who it is that we are now emerging as, and understanding the wounds that we need to kind of really heal and close the door on in order for this new version of self to absolutely be anchored in. So this is providing us with a different perspective on what the blockages actually are, especially after Saturn brought us down a couple of pegs. Now we want to analyze where it is that we're actually self-sabotaging ourselves, where it is that we're not taking the initiative to set up the right kind of encouraging and supportive system within our beliefs and within our narratives to actually help us get to the goals, to the dream, to the vision that we're looking to actually manifest. Having this realization, seeing things from a different angle, a different perspective, is definitely going to illuminate what it is that we have to pour more time, energy, and attention in healing before we can actually move on in the pursuit of this new goal, this new passion, this new dream. So Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger, still in this Virgo energy, is going to trine, which is a beautiful interaction with Pluto, the great transformer himself, who is retrograde in this Capricorn energy. So we got some earth on earth energies here. We love this. Why? Because it brings us back down to earth. We're operating in the logical, practical mindset of what is possible. This is helping us to kind of focus in on our goals. And realizing that our goals may have been a little bit chopped up, a little bit compressed. Maybe we're setting smaller goals within the bigger goal. Regardless, we've had a realization throughout the day on what it is that we need to tackle first. Again, going to take you back to cleaning your house. If you folded the towels and the towels need to go into the cupboard and the cupboard is filled with a bunch of crap, well, the towels need to take a side note. You got to put them, to the side while you clean up the mess of the cupboard, creating a space for the towels to actually go in. And of course, that crap gets put on the counter. Now we have to sort through that crap, right? So now at least we know, okay, we're trying to put the towels in the cupboard. What needs to be done in order for this mission to actually come into completion? Well, we need to create a space in the cupboard for the towels. Okay, so at least we know the plan and the strategy in order to tackle the smaller tasks and chores that are needed to be resolved, need to be cleaned up, need to be cleared up, brought to a completion point in order for us to successfully put the towels in the cupboard. And then we get to move on to the next task. So this is putting us in a situation where we are recognizing what needs to happen. We're recognizing the order, the system, the process in which it needs to happen. We are making decisive actions, decisive energies, decisive attitudes on not screwing around too long. It's not like, oh, okay, so, should we change where we put the towels? No, the towels have always been in that cupboard. There's no need to change it. It isn't broken. It's just our laziness that wants the easy way out. The easy way out is to just keep those towels in the dryer and use them as need be, but that's not going to put our home back in a state of organizational function. And that's what Virgo season is here to do, is to create a better system, routine, and process so that we're kind of walking through our days like a well-oiled machine and we're not being cluster-effed every single time we reach a task that we are being too lazy to do the right way from the beginning. So this Mars and Pluto energy is kind of just reworking, showing us where it is that we have to rework our perspective, rework our willpower, rework our energy to tackle the smaller details of our lives that eventually will lead to a grander vision, a grander dream. If the goal is to have your house in order and open the drawers and have accessibility to the items that that need to be in that drawer, then we have to start organizing all of the drawers, all of the systems in our home. And when I'm talking about your home here in this analogy, please understand that this is your inner realm of emotions and of your mental plane. Okay, so we have some organizational tasks and chores to do, and we are really exploring the right plan, the right strategy so that we can work smarter and not harder. So the last thing that we have here today is the moon in Sagittarius energy making a positive interaction with Mars. This is the kind of energy that we need because now the moon in Sag, we know the big picture vision. The big picture vision, the goal is to have our house put back in order. Mars, who is eager to take action and make moves in order to accomplish that dream, that vision, that goal, who is in Virgo energy, is saying, okay, we understand the big picture, we understand the big dream, so let's start with the smallest task, the smallest of details. Let's start by putting the dirty towels into the washer machine. Let's not worry about creating a space in the cupboard for them when they're not even clean and dry and folded yet. Let's just start with the most simple of tasks, which is let's put those dirty towels in the washer machine. Let's get them washed. Let's get them clean. Let's get them dried. Let's get them folded. Then we can worry about cleaning out the space in order to put the towels in. Okay, so you see where it is that there is a big picture vision, right? Sag energy. We know what the goal is. We want to get these towels washed, cleaned, and put away. And on the micro or macro scale of that, no, micro scale, Mars is like, in Virgo energy, Mars is like, okay, well, let's stop overcomplicating things. Let's stop exaggerating it. Let's stop thinking about all the different possibilities on where the towels could end up. And let's just get the towels in the damn washer. Okay, so this is where we're at. We're understanding that in order for us to be able to actually achieve and accomplish the big picture vision, the big picture goal, that we have to start with the smallest of tasks. And those small tasks are what we've been avoiding, what we've been procrastinating on, because we just have a want, need, and desire to fast forward through the absolute fundamental building process and just get to the good part. Well, my friends, I hate to kind of bring this to you, but spoiler alert, that is not possible. The only way that we are going to be successful in anything that we are doing is slowing our roll, focusing in on the smaller details, and making sure that every step that we are taking to build the proper routine, system, structure, foundation in our lives that is going to get us to the great big dream, the great big vision, is perfect. And that is what Virgo season is all about.